We're back. Episode 5 of The Last of Us. TV Chronicles is here. Shout out, by the way, if you haven't watched our two, I think it's our third episode just dropped. The Shield, Mad Men, and Sopranos. Every week, Thursday, we're walking through so many episodes. You don't have to watch at the speed that we watch. It's really not that bad of homework, to be honest with you. We've been doing it for a long time now. Back to our Wire, Breaking Bad, and the Oz days, and those were hard days. Some of those were hard to get through. These are
that Breaking Bad show. That's just hard to get through that one.
Oh, crystal meth. Who gives a fuck, right? Am I right? Cool. But we're here talking about The Last of Us because we're breaking it down live. Mark, how are you? How was your viewing experience this week?
Oh yeah, it was very good. Didn't one of those it was usually it's a Sunday viewing. This one, I kind of was able to space it out. Got like a nice, I think, like Tuesday viewing. They're very good. I also pleasantly surprised by all this. Didn't get it spoiled too. That was awesome.
Yes. Matt, how are you? How was your viewing experience?
I will interpret for Mark. He's losing interest in the show, so he could wait till Tuesday, and nothing happened this week, so he didn't have to worry about spoilers. But yeah, so so I watched it. It was we're getting close to the end. There's only 2 episodes left.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think we're getting that Abby episode, but we might get an Abby season next season, maybe. I think that's the direction we're going now, but we'll see. Cody, episode.
Yes.
It happened.
I got a Thursday viewing because I pushed everything, basically. I was off work this week. I did my own thing. So I was able to watch on my own schedule without my kids in the house and everything. So it was very nice, very peaceful, fresh in the mind. But this is also a great week for our TV shows in general. As we film right after this, The Shield, Mad Men, and Sopranos is still going on. So I've not seen any of this. So this was like fresh for everything. So it was great. It was a great time. But we're going to break down Heal Her Love. Kind of got that glimpse from the last time of the... What's that group called, Mark?
Therapists.
Hammer people.
Or
yes.
WLF?
MC Hammerites.
No. The medieval people, the people living without... Everybody's got guns and stuff. These motherfuckers got bows and arrows.
Oh, Therapists.
Yes, but this episode basically starts with... who's that leader lady? Have we given her a name in the show yet?
Wolf Lady.
Ted's mom.
Ted's mom. Leader. They're walking through kind of a cold open, blocking off a stairwell, like elevator, like shaft place where it's pretty sealed up. And she goes and meets with a leader of a group of wolf soldiers, and they're fearless, like they follow her tooth and nail, and goes through a story of why their people were dead and stuff like that, and then come to find out it's in the air. Yeah, the person that was down there, I don't know if it was her son or not. I think
it was her son, yeah.
Yeah, because she does that heartfelt, like at the end, sorry about your son, and then shut the door. Like she really gave a shit. She didn't care about her son. But she's like, he's like, are you been bit? He's like, no. And he starts choking. He's like, it's in the air. And the spores and everything are in the air and affecting her. So he's like, well, I know it wasn't affecting any of us because we'd be dead weeks ago. So that, and then she's not, the peace treaty between the, whatever, I can't, God, I'm terrible at this. The fucking religious people, the filial love people,
and people.
The wolf. What do you keep saying, Mark?
Seraphites.
Seraphites.
Hammerites.
I want everybody on the record. Mark mumbles, and I don't understand the fucking word he says sometimes.
So sometimes words can't escape the mustache. It happens.
Yeah, it's just like it's bad. Matumbo, just not today. But peace treaty might break. They need people. They can't kill her because they're going to need those soldiers to fight for her. And that basically ends. Then we go to Ellie. and Diana, they are sitting there. Dina. Why did I say Diana? Dina?
Dina.
Dina. They're sitting there mapping out the plan, hearing over the radio. Stupid, like, fucking flirty bullshit between those two. I'm sorry, I just don't care about the romance. Whatever. I have a protractor. Oh, do you? No, I don't. Like, stupid shit. They're writing out a map or whatever, and start exploring the city. They find a bunch of dead bodies outside the painting of the mural of "Feel Her Love," this religious symbol. And then Ellie, they basically have, "You're pregnant. Why am I making you do this? You shouldn't have to do this." And she basically lays it out to her and be like, "Hey, if you want, I will go back if you want me to go back. If you want me to stay, I will stay. You tell me." And Ellie makes the decision, "I want you to go." They're off. So cold open, Ellie and the playhouse and like kissy kiss and dead bodies. Thoughts on that?
I mean, I really love the cold open. I thought that was a fantastic sequence because she goes down there. She's interrogated. You're not sure if she's like this lady was like a traitor or something, and then she starts telling the story about what happened, and pretty much now not only do we got to worry about the clickers, now they got smart ones. Now they also got to worry about like airborne stuff. Like this couldn't get scary enough as it is, and the fact that it was her son, that he pretty much just told her to seal me in. We can't let this get to the rest of the community. So it's kind of like an interesting kind of the opposite side of Joel, where she was actually able to sacrifice her son for like the better of the community, whereas Joel, not so much. And then as far as Ellie and Dina, I mean, they teased Ellie grabbing the guitar again. I was afraid she was going to do another song, but thankfully we kind of just skipped past that a little bit. But yeah, I guess they're on the road. They have their nice little a speech about you're pregnant, but hey, let's just keep on going. So Ellie she's still full on revenge mode. So yeah, I thought it was a good start.
Yeah, I'll say the show got me here a little bit because I'm watching the beginning and we see like this welded on door. And I thought, oh, are we gonna tease something at this hospital? And as it turns out, no, we're actually doing a thing that was already a thing in the game. I just thought we weren't going to see it of like, oh, it's airborne now. And also seeing, Ted's mom reaction to, oh, it's airborne. Like, oh, fuck. Like, we're really, like, we are definitely fucking, like, it just gets in the air.
No,
in the game, you definitely put on a mask going through places, like a lot.
Yeah.
As Ellie?
No.
Okay, I was gonna say because Ellie's
Ellie might wear one at some point, but I think at some point it's not necessary anymore.
Okay,
We'll get to that.
When
Spoilers, if you haven't seen this episode, please turn off this.
Like, she wears one in the second game because like Joel wants her to keep the appearance.
Okay, that
right.
makes sense.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
because no one really knows. Her has it.
Yeah, and then so that was really neat and kind of seeing that cold open. And I kind of like it. I feel like the kind of lovey-dovey stuff served a bit of a purpose here, in the sense that we see her kind of happy again. Like we see her kind of light up, and we see her kind of feeling good about life. However, she picks up that guitar, strums that one note, and then she's kind of back to being fucked. Yeah, that's right, Joel's dead. God damn it! Like she's back to just being rage. Murderous, and she just has like this kind of stone look on her face for pretty much the rest of the episode. Like she's back to just being dead inside, even though she's finally with the girl that she's been wanting to get with for like 3 years or so now.
Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't bring up the guitar thing. That is, just we wanted our second rendition of this fucking 80s song. Yeah, but I do think I think the interesting point is, I don't know how to interpret whether Dina wanted her to say go or not, but she kind of made Ellie make her own decision. Like, what do you want? Like, I'll do whatever you want me to do. And Ellie, keep going. So it is what it is. They're on their mission, and they end up sneaking into
some sort of factory sort of thing.
Factory is what it looks like to me. So it was a factory. They end up sneaking in. There's lights like scouring the whole thing. So they end up they're they're under very high surveillance. Like, this place is not easy to sneak around with. Dina basically breaks down where she's like, if we run into something, it's not going to be a horde. At least, like, she doesn't sense or whatever. There's no feeling of like that like going on, because they would have known that. Creepy as shit, pretty dark. Overall, scary location. But they end up running into those same ones that bit Ellie and Jackson. What are those ones? The stalkers.
Yeah.
The smart ones, but a lot. There's a lot of them. And again, I don't know the logic. I understand the logic, but I don't understand the logic. Ellie can get bit. Ellie can still bleed out and die. So I'm glad she wants to be the Christ of the group and lay on the sword and like die. But listen, you can only take so many bites. And then gets flipping, just starts. They're all over her, blah blah blah. Dina locks herself into this cage thing, and they all circle around while they're shooting. By the way, don't know where this mindset is. Even if they're right in front of you, you don't shoot a gun at where your friend's located inside a thing, because she could die too. But they end up saying they ended up start ripping the thing, and then, like every show, with two main characters are about to meet their demise. Well, they can't meet their demise. They can't shoot their way out of it. So in comes baby daddy. Jesse's here with a gun, killing, running out. Overall thoughts of the factory invasion and how they did the stalkers inside the thing, and the thought of Jesse showing up and saving the day.
I mean, I really did like the kind of like the little speech that Dina gives to Ellie before they go in about how no matter what, we can't use the guns because they get all the wolves around. He's like, don't get angry. You're a little crazy. So I just need to make sure you're aware of this. And I was happy to see the stalkers back, because I was wondering about that last week. It's like they had that in like the first episode, and then we hadn't seen anything with that since then. So it was good to get them back. And Jesse just kind of showing up out of nowhere. I mean, that's kind of a reminder it's a video game. So, but it's good to see him again.
Yeah, it was funny because like after seeing that moment from that stalker first episode, it reminded me of a particular part of the game where because Ellie goes through a part in the game somewhat very similar to this, where she's going through like an office building and it's filled with stalkers. And I was thinking, wow, if that happened in the show, the characters in the show would be really fun. Like they are 100% dying if that happens. And what do you know? We got that moment. And it's very similar to that, where you realize, holy shit, I'm in here with probably like 15, 20 things that I can't really see or hear. And you just kind of have to fight your way out of it, which also was a great moment to bring in Jesse. Like, because I think that was also a thing that I think me and Cody were waiting for a bit, because that was little difference between the game and the show is that Tommy had left before Ellie did. So Tommy was actually already there, kind of going through that. And then Jesse ends up following Ellie and Dina, because like that's kind of like the way this is. So like I was expecting to see Jesse at some point. Honestly, Tommy, I'm kind of curious if we do see. I guess if we see Tommy at all again, probably will be.
I'm thinking it's probably season finale.
Yeah, so that'd be kind of interesting. I'm kind of curious how they do the rest of that story, you know. But no, like that was a really great, really cool recreation. That was nice horror moment there.
Yeah, Jesse's pissed at Ellie, mainly why they escaped the overall factory. There's some tension between the two of them. It's going back and forth. Like, no. Jesse explains how she found them. Basically, the map that Dina left behind in the movie theater. And her and him and Tommy left basically the day after they left, because they knew that they were going to be going. I think why Jesse's mad, I guess it's not really said in the show, but I think she's mad because he took Dina with him. At that point in time, I think there's protective order. Don't know if she knows this yet, but she has a new daddy, and it's Ellie. Apparently, you're going to have to share custody of your child. Don't know if you know, you're going to be dad. But they're running through the forest, and we stumble upon a nice little ritual in the woods. The Seraphins have a wolf, and the wolf's like, I'll join you, it's too late. And they're all changing, he needs to be cleansed. Well, they put a rope around his neck, and they lift him in the air, and then he basically really creative. But when they start to hang him, they put basically the sword blade thing into his stomach, and when he lifts, cuts right through him, and all his stuff dies, and he dies. Then there's a bunch of whistles. Dina gets shot with an arrow. And Ellie's like, I got this. You guys get out of here. The fuck she does. I don't know. Like, Ellie's that friend that is like ready for a fight at every bar. And you're like, dude, that dude's a bodybuilder. Like, let's get the fuck out of here. Like, no need. No, I fucking got it. Okay, you have fun. Ellie's like, I got this. And like fires a random shot, gets their attention on them. Jesse and Dina get out as far as we know. Ellie's running. She sees the hospital. She says, fuck that, I know where to go. And then takes off towards the hospital. So, crazy ritual by the Seraphins. And Jesse being pissed at Ellie. Overall, family drama. You are the father. I was waiting for those moments to come out. What'd you guys think?
After you said all that, now all I can do is just picture Joe Pesci as Ellie, just like start shitting every turn.
What the fuck? You think I'm funny? You want to fight? I'm not here.
No, it's this cults, these hammer people. The more we get to see them, the more interesting they get to me. Like the first time we see them, they're just walking down the thing whistling, and the girl's got a little hammer. It's like, oh, what is this? But every little bit, if we get more and more of these guys, I was like, oh, these guys are interesting. So I'm curious to see how they're going to play more as we go deeper into this. And then, of course, like you said, as soon as she sees the hospital, she's just like the flip is the switch is flipped, and she's back on her mission. She doesn't even Dina and Jesse, she's going like a shark, just like swimming straight towards that thing. So I thought that was pretty cool.
I think this is a really good representation of a thing I really liked about the game, of how you're going in there, or I say you, but you're going in there as Ellie, kill Abby, her friends, and you don't really realize that, you've hopped in the middle of like this citywide war between these two completely different groups of people. It's also kind of a thing that made me think about, there is at least in the state of the world that is now, there's probably this type of conflict going on in almost every major city. There's some extent that, hey, well, we're fighting it out because, why not? And I think just kind of seeing those two and seeing the differences, also just seeing how just hardcore like these Seraphins are. That's really cool to see. And then we get to the very end, Dina getting shot, and where we're back on to like what this game is really about, in revenge. And we see for the first time, Ellie clearly picks revenge over her friends.
Mm-hmm.
Where this is the thing, this is the reason why she's here, this is what she cares about, and there's very little that she's gonna let get in her way of that.
Yep. So heading towards the hospital, Ellie does her perfect crawl through a bush, like tall grass. Dog alerts. She ends up crawling through a hole. Good thing the guard's a fucking idiot and goes, it's just a critter. We're fine. All right, no problem.
Right?
It's just a rabbit. Like, when's the last time you saw a fucking rabbit, buddy? Like, I bet you haven't in a while. Like, sure.
Fucking
But
dumbass dog just barking at a hole.
fucking go. Just one of the smartest dog breeds of all time, the German Shepherd is in there. And I am fucking idiot, moron. But we get into the hospital where we see Nora, I believe her name is.
Mhm.
She's the doctor. She was also in the room and put Nina to sleep. She's also, I think, no, she wasn't the one that put her to sleep. Maybe?
No, that was Mel, I believe. Mel was
Yeah.
good.
She was the one that helped down Ellie when Joel got killed. Yeah.
Yeah, she's helping. She's doing all this situation. So she's part of Abby's group. It didn't really matter.
Yeah.
But she's in the hospital. She's shooting up people. She walks behind into a room, and Ellie tells her to put her hands in the air. And she's like, "We didn't kill you. Well, you should have." Like the whole tension building. Where's Abby? She's refusing to tell her where Abby is. She's like, "I'm gonna kill you." Like there's no question about it. Breaks out one of the funniest sequences for me in the show. Like, I understand it's probably not supposed to be funny, but Nora throws the liquid at Ellie, and then starts running, and Nora's running through this hallway like, intruder! Like, God, somebody shoot her! Like, as Ellie's trying to fire. Then you have the stormtroopers trying to shoot at her because they have like military rifles ready to go. They are hitting glass. They're missing Ellie everywhere. Ends up running. She gets cornered into an area. Nora does, where she has to pick like to elevator. She gets in the elevator. She drops. It crashes down to a level. You see B2 ends up crawling into there, and Ellie ends up like falling down. Why the other people are just still shooting at her. And where they decide to land or where they decide to go into is a heavily infected area. But what's your overall thoughts before we get to the heavily infected area of the interaction between Nora and Ellie, and then the funny chase scene that ended up happening?
I think you need to give the stormtroopers some credit. It's not like they have a whole bunch of ammunition for target practice. So some of these people may have never fired a gun before. So
that's fair. My bad.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, she found Nora. Nora pretty much knew what was up immediately, and she just hauled out of there. So it was a nice little chase, and it's definitely they went to the one place you don't want to go.
Yeah, kind of this part very close to the game. Very anticipated, but mainly for the stuff that happens next.
So Ellie starts exploring the downstairs area where they're at, and as she's getting closer to where she's looking for Nora, you're seeing more and more of like the crystallization, like the fungi and everything, leading to like the sources that are keeping it basically alive and running. And they turn to a room, and it is fully just wall to wall everywhere. Humans are fully just encased and breathing out this toxic. I think the show does a really good job with their camera angles where they're able to show like the stuff through the air and does a really good job of like explaining while the foreshadowing that happened at the cold open about it's in the air. Ellie's walking through, she sees all the people in there, and she ends up walking, she turns on these red lights, and Nora's at the end coughing, just, "You're an idiot. You killed us both. Like, we're breathing the spores. Like, you didn't realize that, but now we're both infected." And she says, "Did I?" Like, and finally realizes, like, you're the immune girl. Like, you're the girl. You're the one. Like, you're the one everybody talked about. Sorry you had to see Joel die, but do you know why Abby did what he did? Is because, like, you were the one that he was going to save. Like, the only doctor that could create a cure was Abby's dad, and he killed him, and he killed everybody in there to save you. And Ellie says the line, "I know." Like, she knew the entire time. That's why the tension grew. That's why everything. But she didn't believe what Joel said. So I think she always knew deep down inside, like, how the hell did I get out? Like, how? Like, why am I still here with everything? But she's like, I'm okay with it, and she wants to know where Abby is, and she ends up putting down the gun, picking up a metal pipe, and basically asks where Abby's at. And when Nora says no, they take the thing and swings, and you hear the scream. And she just continues to beat her while she can't breathe, anyways. And we'll get thoughts on that, because then all of a sudden, wake up in a room and Joel is waking her up like it's a.
The last 6 episodes have been a dream.
I bet somebody threw up and like, there's no way. She wakes up smiling. So overall thoughts to the final scene of these episodes.
I mean, it's fantastic. Just that room that she walks into, and just the heebie-jeebies. And you get to see the lady from the beginning. Her son is one of the guys that's in the wall, just like putting spores out there nonstop for the rest of its existence. It's just, yeah. And then when she does finally catch up to Nora, there's that awesome moment where like Nora's like, "You killed us both." It's like, no.
Wrong. I know why you would think that.
Yeah, you just see that Ellie has become cold, and she's just the
She's
hatred, the
hardened from
rage,
this
and the revenge that's just fueling her right now is just gone crazy. And then so I don't know. Because she doesn't get the information out of her. I mean, that we don't get to see her like finish, but I'm assuming she probably maybe doesn't. I don't know. And then, hey, Joel's there. So I guess we are going to get a flashback episode after all. So, yay.
Well, like, probably going to be better than the last bullshit one we got, like, the last season. So, big up to that.
Yeah, it might be about Joel and Eugene just finding an abandoned mole and just kind of having fun.
I mean, it won't be over like past material, so that already makes it better. That part was great. I was really waiting for this particular moment, and also for all the practical effects people out there, just the way those affected look, breathing out spores, all that looked really cool. And then we get the Nora Ellie conflict, and Bella Ramsey is just acting her fucking ass off. She is just
redeemed herself from last episode.
Cold, emotionless, just giving her like these like staring, these piercing dead eyes, and just great. And then we get a perfect reveal at this moment of like her knowing what Joel did, which just kind of brings like this whole element of her story out. Like, really, like, okay, like even though she knows everything about Joel, she was still willing to go on this war path to kill people and avenge them, like, which gives us that, like, it just of a lot of moments. I think they've just kind of straight adapted. This, I think, is probably one of their best ones. I think it just kind of brings out kind of that same intensity that we saw there, especially since this is probably one of the worst things Ellie does, at least going on the revenge path. There's maybe one other thing that's worse than this one, but this one pretty bad, like just beating somebody to death just for information with a pipe, like just insane. So and then we get the confirmation that one of these episodes is going to be a past episode. Of all the game stuff that we could possibly get in there, very stoked to see like stuff that it could be, and just to see kind of where this is going to take us and set us up for the last episode.
Yeah, it felt like a very quick episode. Like, there wasn't so much that went on, but the stuff that did happen was pretty eventful. I think it just included, like, Joel made his decision whether people agree with it or not, to keep Ellie alive. Me and Matt had, I think, a difference of opinion than Mark, and that's totally fair and just. I think both are just. I think both are really justified at that point. But like, I think Ellie came to grips with it because, like, if she did make that choice, like, she's gone. Like, Joel gave her a shot at life, regardless how shitty the life is.
And
It's
the
still-
people are putting a lot of faith in this doctor that he's going to be able to come up with a cure.
Exactly. Facts. Have you
Okay.
met Abby? I don't believe.
I'm just gonna say I've heard that point brought up a ton of times over influencers. It doesn't fucking matter if you can do it or not. The fact is they had a shot and Joel just took it away.
Let him kill
It
a whole
doesn't
bunch of
matter
little
if you
girls.
fake
Maybe
it or
he'll
do it.
stumble upon a cure eventually.
But we saw how the government in this world has reacted to even just lockdowns and situations and how they treat people. So if that we want the medicine to go into the right hand, but what if it's select people? What if they choose to do corrupt things with it? And Ellie died for not everybody. Ellie just died for a few people.
Mm.
It also wasn't the government, it was the Fireflies. Maybe they were the ones who were out to, help people. So,
I mean, if Joel could take out the Fireflies by himself, they wouldn't have stood a chance against these Hammer people. So, and the Hammer people aren't going to be pro-cure.
Yeah, I don't really understand the peace treaty idea. Like, I get there are a couple wackos, right? But they have bow and arrows and like sword, like blades. I've seen M16s in these motherfuckers' hands, and I saw 3 tanks.
But I've seen
How
these
long does this
arrows
piece
pretty much
turn?
hit almost every time, whereas we've seen these people can't hit shit with these guns.
Valid. But also, if you just drive those tanks through the woods and like take down those fucking trees, how good are those people inside the woods with no
Then how come they
coverage?
haven't done that yet?
I know, that's what I'm asking. Did you? So you did the peek ahead. You watched ahead. What's coming on the next one?
Oh, I actually did not this one, but like I
I
feel
mean,
like
we can assume next week's probably going to be all flashback,
100%.
right?
I have a pretty good idea what's going to be in there, except for the probably flashback thing we're going to get with that guy.
Eugene.
Is that Eugene?
Eugene, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's got to be something with.
Because they've talked about Eugene a lot for him to not be.
Yeah.
Oh, the
part of that
husband of the
episode.
therapist.
Yeah.
It's going to be his situation, right? Are we thinking that?
So, assuming that next week is all flashback, do you guys still think you have a good idea where the season finale is going to take us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now I definitely do. Like,
There's 2 big things
Yeah.
that I'm pretty certain is going to happen in that.
and just get ready for season 3, Abby. That's what's happening. Like,
So would you guys be cool if like season 3 starts with Abby, and then we don't even see Ellie to like or episode 4, episode 5, or something like that?
Very possibly. Yes.
Yeah.
yes,
Okay.
get ready for that.
Which is funny
Listen,
because
these motherfuckers, they give you more Ellie than you even fucking deserve because we got thrown right into fucking Abby after Joel died.
Which I think is funny because I thought that part was going to possibly alienate the TV audience, but I think the TV audience is somewhat already alienated because they're all fucking morons and they think the writing is bad in the show. I don't understand. The narrative around the show is fucking insane. I don't know what show everybody else is watching. I don't get it.
It seems like a group, and I'm probably like this on the other shows that we do and stuff because I'm not invested into it. Like somebody could watch Breaking Bad for the first time right now and never have seen it, and they complain about something. I'm like, you're a moron. You don't understand. But my thing is, it just seems like we're in this branch of the world is just a bitch about anything. If you like it too much, you don't see the flaws. If you hate it too much, you're just a hater. There's so many I've watched these episodes. I've played the video game. I know when shit happens, and I know when new shit happens. The only way you lose me is when new shit happens and it doesn't click. When it's great, even when it's adapted perfectly, I'm all in and I know what's coming. I still enjoy it. I don't know if you've never played the video game and then you're sitting here and you're watching it and you're having a miserable time. I don't know how. If I did not know what was happening and I watched this for blind, like no clue, I'd be like, this show's fucking great because blah blah blah. I played the video game. I think it's great. I think there can be lulls and places that people don't really like and stuff, but overall, the characters and how they developed it, I think are great. I just think now the show has a really hard problem, and that's how the game had a really big problem.
Yeah.
Is Pedro Pascal's gone. So the problem is it's on Bella Ramsey's shoulders to carry the show. And if you're not on board with her, it's going to be hard for you at times. If you're on board with her, it's going to be fairly easy for you. I'm one that have nitpicked certain parts. I think she was terrible last episode. Like in that one scene, I think that was horrible. But I don't think like that's like they should have said cut and let's try something different. They didn't. They put it in, whatever the case may be, fine. This episode, when she's down there with Nora and beats the living shit out of her and says the I did part, not a bad acting performance. Even when Dina is telling her, tell me to go, that's emotional. You see the reaction. She takes it well. She goes with it. It's when she has to go amped up and like panic mode. She's bad actress. She's just bad. She doesn't know how to play panic well. And that's just what I've noticed. But overall, I have no complaints really with the show. I am fine where it's going to end. I'm really excited for where it's going to end. I'm really excited because I think the strongest actress has not been on the show much at all. Like, I think Caitlin Deavers as Abby, even though if you hate her because of what she did, that's fair. We all did too. But I think she's going to carry a heavy load, and I think she's going to show those emotional elements that you're like on. Like, you get to see a person that could win the Academy Award at some point for Best Actress running through these scenes and doing great.
If she's able to do what she did and then make you like her later on, then that's.
I just hope she doesn't hit the weight room like original Abby, because god damn, she'll come back with like fucking Ronda Rousey or Rhea Ripley. Like, please don't do that. But yeah, overall, I've heard so many negative things about the overall the show, but I'm confused.
I would understand it if the story for this was massively different, but it isn't. It's basically the same story, but
yeah,
there we are. I'm curious to see how this grows. I don't know. I feel like people think this show's called Westworld or some bullshit.
No, I think Cody hit it on the head. Some people are watching this. It was the Pedro Pascal show, and then once you take him out of it, some of the people aren't going to continue along with it. So I definitely know. I've talked to some people who are like, "Oh, he's gone." I was like, "Oh, why do I need to keep watching it?" Well, like, if he's the only reason you're watching it, then you weren't watching the show for the right reason.
Yeah, such a weird thing. Like, sure, he's good, but like.
That's like, oh yeah, I quit Game of Thrones after the first season because Sean Bean's not around anymore.
I mean, I get it. He was like all like shit.
Sean Bean died. What the fuck? I'm out. Turns off every movie that's ever existed. We will be back next week, episode 6 of the live reaction. And again, please go check out The Shield, Sopranos, and Mad Men. Again, I said this, I'll say this again. If you're in this community, I think Mad Men hits for so many people. I think go check it out. I think you'd really enjoy it. But we will see you next week. Go watch some